Greetings and welcome to another episode of Sonic Odyssey, the music video channel dedicated to bringing you the last 5 decades or so of music in review and discussion format. Before we dive into today's topic, let's get the housekeeping out of the way. Please be sure to like the video, and you can do that by clicking the thumbs up button below the video. That'll help the YouTube algorithm have the video show up on more and more people's YouTube feeds, which can only benefit the channel, and that would be greatly appreciated. Also, please feel free to share the video. You can share through social media networks such as Facebook and other social media networks by clicking the share button below. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date with all things Sonic Odyssey. And when you click the subscribe button, there's a little bell icon that comes up, and you click on that, and each time I post a new video, you'll get a little notification to let you know that I have done so. Also, I would humbly ask you to please consider visiting my Patreon page. There's a link in the show description right below the video, and there you can take a look at the different tiers that are available if you'd like to consider becoming a patron. Your patronage would be greatly appreciated. That's the housekeeping out of the way. Now we're going to move on to today's topic. Today we're going to be looking at and listening to a band from Portland, Oregon, which is a pretty young band. They formed in 2017. Their name is Ænigmatum, and the album we'll be looking at is their recent release entitled Deconsecrate. Ænigmatum play a style of music which would be categorized in the simplest form as a kind of black metal meets death metal hybrid, but it's really much more so than that. It's full of great virtuosity and technicality. Proggy bits are thrown in. There's some jazzy elements thrown into the mix as well at points. And grind even shows up a little bit. So there's a great variety of musical genres that they touch on over the course of the 8 songs which make up the album Deconsecrate. The band is a quartet. Currently, the lineup consists of Kelly McLaughlin on guitar and vocals, Pierce Williams on drums and backing vocals, Ellie Lundgren on guitars, and Brian Rush on fretless bass and synths and backing vocals. The album really kicks off into high gear right from the get-go with the opening track, Forged from Bedlam, which we'll be listening to a snippet of in just a moment. It begins with this wonderful drum intro and then a really powerful growling vocal coming in, followed by dual guitar work and then some bass which just dances melodically over the twin guitar work. This snippet of sound that you'll hear really does give a great indication as to the style of music you can expect from the album. It has great tremolo guitar work. The dual guitars work really well together, and the bassist Brian Rush just does an outstanding job of floating over the music and around the music. There are so many bass solos on this album. It's unbelievable. He's really a phenomenal bass player at such a young age. So let's give a listen to that right now. As you heard, that snippet of the opening track really does give a wonderful example of the style of aggressiveness and intensity that is found in Ænigmatum's music. It is powerful, and yet it's got groove to it. It's technical, but it's not too much so that it is to its detriment. It actually has a great freedom in its sound. It's got a wonderful flair and style of openness about it. And I think that that's what makes it so interesting, this idiosyncratic nature of the music. The pace being somewhat frenetic, and yet never having the speed or intensity be a crutch that the band leans on. And the drum work is just marvelous. It has intense blast beats throughout the opening portion, but it also has great rolls and fills. So there's a lot to be happy about in listening to this track and to listening to Deconsecrate overall. The 8 songs that make up Deconsecrate, for the most part, are these powerfully driven songs with melodeath elements, progressive elements, and technical elements all throughout. But there is a slight break in this mood, which comes in the form of the 5th track, which is entitled Floods Within a Splintered Cortex. And this is a little bit of a guitar piece over some ambient weather sound effects in the background. It's not really out of place. It's not disjointed or seemingly unsuited to the rest of the music, but it is a definite break in the rush and tempo of the intensity of the music before it and what comes after. And what comes after is the closing 3 tracks, and we're going to listen to the 7th track right now, a little bit of that. This is entitled Despot of Amorphic Dominions. As you hear in that sample, the song begins with a slightly milder tempo than it builds up to a greater and more increased intensity and tempo, and some more tremolo picking and playing by the guitars and the bass actually accompanying them. And it's got a wonderful feel to it, a sort of Gothenburg, Sweden style of death metal sound almost to it. It's got that sort of feel. So there's really not much that I can add to this other than to say that Ænigmatum's Deconsecrate is probably one of the albums of the year, in my opinion, in the death metal genre. If I have to classify it into just one genre, it's got wonderful layers and textures throughout it, and the musicianship is just so beautiful. The production quality is extremely high, and the mixing is beautifully done. The layering of sounds is marvelously produced. So it has, I would say, about 4.5 out of 5 stars for this, and I would highly recommend that if you're interested in this kind of extreme sound and or are willing to take a chance on listening to something in this style of music, that you could check out Ænigmatum's Deconsecrate from 2021. It's available from Bandcamp or iTunes. I'm sure you can find it in many distribution sites, so it shouldn't be difficult. And thank you very much for your time and attention. I would ask you to again please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video with your friends or through your Facebook page or what have you. And please consider visiting my Patreon page. And I would wish you a great day. Until next time, peace, be well, bye-bye.